Payola's barn door, NFTs and Drake are still alive, and hey Alexa, move slow and break things. Welcome to the Unlimited Supply Podcast, your daily music business TLDR in your ear, powered by 30 years of deja vu and brought to you by NoDisc, helping music, technology, and finance companies navigate the music industry, and partnered with Digital Music News. It's February 18th, 2025. I'm Lars Murray in NYC. It's Tech Tuesday mashed up with a belated holiday Monday, where we both geek out on the tech and discuss what happened over the weekend and what's happening this week. Over the weekend, the Saturday Night Live 50 festivities were not the only throwback to the 70s and 80s this week. That would be the FCC and legislators playing the oldies, Payola, and forcing radio stations to pay royalties for recorded music. Over at Digital Music News, Dylan Smith is reporting that the FCC and Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn are going after big radio, or more accurately, big rapidly shrinking radio, for allegedly shaking down artists for cut rate performances in return for radio play. Shocker! In 1994. Not to defend the practice, which has caused a lot of stress over the years for artists, managers, and labels, and certainly at one time helped to shape the culture, but with the relevance of music radio waning and music on the radio itself disappearing rapidly, all of this belated action seems more likely to be the final death knell for music radio than to generate any significant revenue for the industry. Such a rich garden for metaphors. We'll settle for closing the barn door after the horses have run out. Meanwhile, perhaps wisely, Drake waited until after the Grammys and the Super Bowl to drop his latest release. It's a collabo with Party Next Door. It dropped on Friday. Over in Billboard, Dan Reese had the coverage of how exactly Drake is managing to drop an album at the same time that he's suing his primary label, UMG. Well, like everything in the Kendrick-Drake beef, it's complex. It involves multiple labels, and lawsuit or no, if it drives a lot of streams, everybody wins. Which comes right in the nick of time, as also in Billboard, Ed Christman did an exhaustive breakdown of Drake's streaming numbers. Bottom line and a headline is that his numbers are down so far versus 2024. When you've taken a drubbing as thorough as Drake has in this beef across the Grammys and the Super Bowl, the only way to respond is to get up off the mat and get some more music out there. Over the weekend, at least on the Spotify US Top 50 chart, Drake hasn't pushed through the Kendrick barrier yet, though. His top new track, Nokia, was only at number 13, with 6 Kendrick tracks in the top 11. We'll be watching this one. Multiple outlets are reporting that Spotify is gearing up its superfan offerings, reportedly for a $5.99 premium add-on. The perks are reported to include early fan access to ticketing, AI remix tools, and maybe they'll even offer higher fidelity audio, which, by the way, Amazon gives away for free. Now, why would an artist surrender their data and their superfan offerings to Spotify instead of just owning their data and knowing their fans? Sure, Spotify is where the fans live, but what could possibly be in it for them? Would it perhaps be more and better exposure on the platform? Could things like content exclusives and early access perhaps get better placement in the app? Where have I heard about this kind of quid pro quo? Well, Spotify doesn't live on the public airwaves, and so Marsha Blackburn and the FCC don't have anything to say about it. No barn, no door, just business as usual. Now, lest I get too high and mighty, this is basically how things work. Always have, and probably always will. Artist gives up a few extra perks, platforms give them a little extra exposure, applied fairly and not on public airwaves. It's not even really controversial. The devil, as always, is in the details. No conflict, no interest. But also, artists, own your data, know your fans should be the default setting, and if you cede that work to Spotify, you're not playing the long game. Over in Music Business Worldwide, Murray Stassen has a pretty good rundown. All right, let's geek out on the tech. Remember NFTs? Like Drake, they live. Over in Billboard, Kristen Robinson wrote a piece detailing how NFTs and the blockchain are finding more practical applications than just speculation and grift around cartoon images of apes. If NFTs and blockchain frighten and confuse you, caveman record weasels, let me keep it simple. NFTs should be great for running fan clubs, and blockchain should be great for administering rights and conducting transactions. Note the use of should. Turning it all into practice is a multi-year process, even a multi-decade process, at least so far, but some companies are sticking it out. If you want to stay future literate, you should go check out Kristen's article in Billboard. The good stuff usually happens after the bubble pops the first time. Over on the AI front, after a comparatively quiet week or two, things are revving up again. YouTube recently unveiled an AI upgrade to Shorts, one of those characteristically evolutionary changes that Google likes to roll out without a ton of fanfare. Ashley King has a rundown in digital music news. Personally, as a YouTube creator, I'm going to be investigating this one today. Also over at Digital Music News, Dylan Smith reported this morning that SoloAI had raised $2 million. Is SoloAI the Deepseek of Music AI? Well, it's a new rival to Suno and Udio in that it's a generative music AI platform that involves not just music creation, but community and sharing. SoloAI raised that $2 million from Hongshan, formerly Sequoia China, which also has money in it from Andreessen Horowitz and Endeavor. I wonder how Endeavor artists might feel about the fact that their agency is investing in AI-generated music. No word on whether SoloAI is operating within ethical training data guidelines. I'm not betting that they are. And by the way, $2 million? If that's all it takes to successfully launch a disruptive generative music AI platform, we are all doomed, though I suspect it's going to take more than a couple of million. If AI fear and loathing is keeping you up at night, you might take a little bit of comfort knowing that Amazon has thrown a lot more than $2 million into developing AI for Alexa over the past, almost 10 years. And they still haven't gotten it right, like most things involving Alexa. Over in the Washington Post, Caroline O'Donovan reports that Amazon's new upgraded Alexa with AI, first announced in September 23, yes, that's September 23, has been delayed again because it's delivering wrong answers, something that devoted Alexa users will not find particularly surprising. This is what you get when you strangle independent development on a platform. Hey, Alexa, move slow and break things. Hey, maybe it'll be great. As for what the coming week has in store, if you're an independent music publisher in LA, you'll be at the AIMP annual membership meeting and town hall tomorrow. If you're in the country music business, undoubtedly you will be at the country radio seminar. CRS starts also tomorrow in Nashville. If you're in the business of podcasting, you might be at On Air Fest, which runs tomorrow through Friday. If you're in the folk business, Folk Alliance starts tomorrow and runs through the weekend in Montreal. Amidst all of these events, fittingly on touring Thursday, Live Nation has its earnings call. And finally, if you have general good taste in music, friend of the pod and sometime axe grinder Jordan Kurland's Noise Pop Fest starts Thursday and runs into March in San Francisco with a stacked lineup. Support for the Unlimited Supply podcast is provided by RoyFi. If you need an advance to take your career to the next level, RoyFi has the best rates in the industry, the fairest terms, and no hidden agendas. RoyFi is mission-driven to give artists the independence they need. RoyFi is a proud partner of A2IM. See if you're eligible for an advance at RoyFi, that's RoyFi.com. And by Hangout.fm. Hangout by Turntable Labs, Inc. is the new social listening platform where users connect, discover new music, and play over 100 million songs with their friends and family. If you like what you hear, please hit that follow button wherever you get your podcasts. Drop us a rating and a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or YouTube, and tell a friend or three, preferably 5 times, because everything in digital music needs to be repeated 5 times to sink in. Links are in the show notes, but you can also visit unlimitedsupplypod.com to sign up for our newsletter, to tell us what you think about the show, to suggest feature ideas, to feed us info, to feed us lunch, to call us out on our dubious assertions, and to tell us what we're missing out on. I'm Lars Murray, and remember, in this business, no conflict means no interest.